What did the video show you from Saturday that you want to carry into this week?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good start. We started fast. Obviously, two interceptions. And having an opportunity there on that 4th and 1 to really sort of change the momentum. Yeah, or the momentum was in our favor and keep it going, right? But it's a really good learning moment for our guys to understand that what you don't want to do in that situation. It's 4th and 1. You know, if you make a stop, that's great. That's a positive. You give the offense the ball with a short field. Again, but what you can't give up is an explosive. And to me, that was the turning point moment. Sort of that 4th and 1, and they get the big throw, and then we miss a tackle, and it gets down to the 1, and then they score in the next play. I think that was just one of those moments in a game that can really just sort of pivoted at that moment. Uh, Again, I thought the D line played strong up front. That's 2 games in a row. Been pleased with their play. I think the linebacker play, has been really solid. Obviously, Ty had a terrific game. Um, we need to play stronger. We need to leverage the football better on the perimeter. And make sure that we secure those. Hitches are going to happen. That's okay. Like that's football. We need to pin them to the ground. They need to be 5-yard gains, 4-yard gains. Every once in a while, they can get a little bit loose and be 6, 7, 8. But to have 2 explosive passes on hitches and 100 yards on 7 hitches in the first half, just unacceptable.
Their coach talked on Monday about how he feels like they've been pretty, Eastern Michigan's coach, talked about how he feels like they've been pretty consistent in the passing game, but they really want to work this week to establish the run. What have you seen on their film that you really want to harp on with this defense?
Well, you can tell that they're a good running football team. They're just I really like the backs. I think they run hard. They've created some explosive runs. When he gets to the second level, and I'm sure they want to try to get there a little bit more. We've got to do a good job of trying to continue to play strong at the line of scrimmage. Do a great job of leveraging the football, not letting it bounce on the perimeter. They're gonna run some flat outside zone, and those balls are gonna bounce some. So we have to do a good job there. In a passing game scenario, they have done a nice job, distributing the ball around. Obviously, Two's a really good player, and the quarterback's a seasoned veteran. So, we got to play really good.
Brad, did you anticipate getting the kind of pass rush and pressure from David?
Yeah, it's what we were anticipating, and sort of expecting from David. That's why he was a priority of ours. In the off season when he was in the portal, and again he's played well, and we need him to continue to do that, continue to generate that middle pocket push. His hit on Simmons is what forced that second interception for Ty. Forced the high ball, and so we needed that continued play.
Talked on after the game. You said you leaned heavily on JQ and Terine with DJ out, but you liked what you saw at Kiev. Can we expect to see him a lot more this week against Eastern Michigan? With the Stoops saying DJ might be out again this week.
Yeah, we're gonna keep. When you have a long season, you're gonna see a lot of guys, and they need to continue to elevate, and they need to play. I know we'll play better out there on the edge this week. I know there were plays that those guys were not, happy with, proud of, however you want to say it, and they've been dialed in this week, and so they will respond. I know they will.
Coach, will you say a little bit more about David? What stands out about him? How he's helping this, your unit so far?
Yeah, I mean he's playing strong in the run game. Really commanding double teams. When he gets soloed on a center, that's a hard block for a center, whether it's pass rush or in the run game. So really doing a nice job, from a movement standpoint, from a gap integrity standpoint, and I do want to mention, I thought Khalil played maybe arguably his best game, maybe in a Kentucky uniform. Like just he played strong, violent all day. Like that's the Khalil that we know, and he's flashed. But the consistency of his effort and his play was evident on Saturday. And so the way those two played, the way Tavian Gadsden played up front, Keith Grace played really well, which was really proud of him. Obviously, was only had limited snaps sort of in that first game. So for him to be able to fight through that, like it was, again, really proud of that front. Coach Stewart does an unbelievable job pushing those guys. And you can see it, like you get the best on Saturday. So, yes, again, David's been playing really, played really well. But I do want to make mention of those other guys because they played equally as well.
Brad, what kind of challenges does Cutter give your guys kind of on a daily basis in practice? And what kind of quarterback do you see
Yeah, I mean, I think all our guys, challenge us, and they throw good balls, and they've got really good arm strength. They can make all the throws. They've got mobility. So, obviously we've got our own issues that we've got to worry about on defense, and so. But as a player, all those guys that we see in practice give us fits.
You said you liked your defensive line. You're pleased with them. Why do you think that group is having so much success right now?
Two reasons. I think number one, first and foremost, Coach Stewart. I think Stu does an unbelievable job with those guys. He's going to demand a lot, but he loves on them hard. And I think they're a close-knit group. Like they like working with each other. There are some times when you can push an individual player or a group, and they don't love to be pushed that hard. This group allows themselves to be uncomfortable and get pushed, and understand that sometimes there's going to be harsh criticism, and there's no it's not coming from a bad place. It's coming from a place of love and trying to get transformation and trying to get the best out of these guys. And so it's a credit to Coach Stewart, and it's a credit to the players that they're willing to accept that. And then, like I said, I think they're a close group. They play for each other.
You said you felt like Eastern Michigan does a good job distributing that in their passing attack. One of those guys they distribute to a lot is one you're familiar with on the practice field. They got Tanner Lemaster at tight end who's here at Kentucky last year. What can you say about what you saw him at Kentucky and the way you've seen him on film be able to be a big part of their team?
Yeah, he's made some nice plays. Had caught an over route and a little bit action in the RPO game, and so he's doing a nice job. And Tanner, when he was here, just put his head down and worked. And so you're always happy for those guys. Sometimes you just have to, have a place that just sort of fits, for you. And again, glad that he's found a spot that he's been able to make an impact, and he has. And so, it's our job to try to minimize that impact on Saturday.
Brad, you mentioned preseason that you need to be clean when it comes to on-field communication during the game. How do you feel about how that's going?
Yeah, I think it's been good. Have not had some of the issues that popped up last year. We have to make sure that, when, like if Davern comes off, we have a helmet with a green dot on someone else. So it can be, a little bit of a juggle on the sideline at times, say who's got the green dot, who's not. But our equipment staff's done an unbelievable job. They've got the helmets at the ready to make sure that we never have two on at the same time. That aspect has been clean. I think that the players on the field have been solid in terms of their communication with each other. But the thing that we need to be better is we need to be more situationally aware. We need to understand, again, whether it's 4th and 1, it's back to, if they get a yard or two there, that's not the game-changing momentum play. Giving up an explosive there is. Like understanding when it's time to sell out, when it's time to, give it your best shot, but not give up something that's huge, to understand when it's 4 minute and what teams are trying to do in the 4 minute defense. Like, all those things are important, and we're still growing. We still have a lot of guys that are still just, they're trying to do their job and execute our defense, but it's at the point where, okay, that needs to become like breathing. Now they can focus on, the opponent, and then, hey, what is the situation? Hey, it's third and this. It's this alignment by a receiver. It's a Wildcat. Like, those are the things that we have to get better at if we want to be the defense that we want to be.
Talk about growth. It's only the third game of the season, obviously, but where have you seen the biggest growth, both in a position standpoint or even just a specific player standpoint?
I don't know. That's a hard question. Biggest growth, Yeah, that's one probably to, ask in a couple of weeks, because it's so new, and there are mistakes that maybe you got fixed, but new ones came up in game 2. Like, what you want to see in game 3 is that those mistakes don't come up. The ones that you made in 1 and 2 don't reappear in 3. That would be where, the biggest growth for me would show up. I just want to see us that we continue to play with awareness on the football field. I thought, other than sort of the maybe the perimeter hitch tackling, I thought our tackling's been solid. Probably definitely better than the first scrimmage. When we didn't tackle well at all. But we need to continue to rally to the ball, play with great effort. But yeah, ask me that one in a couple of weeks.
Brad, Cam Dooley, just what have you seen from him so far in his first couple games, and what are you going to see and keep?
Yeah, it's good. It's great to see him get, meaningful reps. You forget sometimes how young some guys are, right? Like, you forget about Cam Dooley, that, oh man, he's a sophomore. He plays a lot for us, and then you realize, wow, he played a ton on special teams. Got a little bit of spot time last year, but now this was his first meaningful SEC game, right? And so he's going to go through growing pains. Q Scott, going to go through growing pains. A lot of those sophomores or redshirt freshmen are going to have to go through some of those, and you want them to play like vets. You want them to. I mean, you think about that field overhang position that, I think that's a position that we're going to continue to grow and get better at. I didn't think we played our best game out there. But you also get spoiled, right, when you've got, in 2018, you got a Mike Edwards, right? And then last year you've got a guy like Zion Childress. Like, these are savvy, older guys that, like, young guys aren't going to make all those plays. They're not going to see all those little things yet. They're going to try to just do their job, and you need them and you want them to see the big picture, and they just don't yet. And so those are some of the scars that have to settle in for those guys. And it's the same thing for Cam.
All right, folks, thank you very much.